You look at his career, and this guy, I mean, all-time records for RBI. I mean, I know that I've seen things and just watching from the other side, and he just comes up with big hits, not only in the regular season but the postseason especially, and the on-base, the OPS, all those things, the home runs, those big hits. It's hard to explain, but I know that he's that guy that you want in those big spots, and he doesn't scare off.
Other questions for Dave? Allison, and then stay in that row.
How much has Chris Taylor, just since he moved into the leadoff spot, I know your offense didn't have any real issues, but it really sparked the lineup. How did he spark it? It
did. Just having Chris at the top of the order where every time he gets in the box, he's a threat. He can grind you for 10 pitches in at bat. He can earn a walk. He can slug you. He can steal a base. And I think that just to have the discipline that he's had all year to stay in the strike zone, and when a pitcher makes a mistake, he makes you pay. So to have that consistency all year long, and that's just in the batter's box, but to have him out in center field, start out in left field for us, filled in at short, played some second for us. So he's done it all for us, and he's one of those guys that sort of gets overlooked with all the superstars that we have on this team, but he's a big part of this.
We'll stay right there with Joe.
Dave, You've obviously seen Kershaw good many times. How good was he tonight?
I look back at some of the video, and I can see it from the side, and you see the swing and miss, the depth of the slider, the fastball command, the backdoor cut of the curveball. Tonight was one of those nights, I think the first time in a while that we've really seen all three of his pitches synced up. He just was repeating the delivery, held the velocity, was throwing the baseball where he needed to, where he wanted to. Very talented team over there, and for him to get ahead, keep him off balance, work him front to back, up and down to all quadrants. I mean, this was a special night for Clayton.
To your right, Dave. Joel.
Dave, I wonder what you think about that the number 1 and 2 hitter in your lineup for a World Series not too long ago were probably secondary thoughts, scrap heap kind of guys, and now they're hitting 1-2 in the World Series.
And all the credit obviously goes to those guys. And I think that there's just a DNA piece to those two guys that they had opportunities. They created opportunities for themselves. And they expect a lot from themselves. They prepare the right way. They believe in their abilities. And so now, you see their two stories, and you look back a few years and seeing that they're hitting 1-2 in the World Series. It's a credit to them, and I don't think that it surprises them as far as those guys know that they can be productive major league players. And now for us, we're just reaping the benefits.
To your left, Dave. Tyler.
Dave, kind of, to bounce off Joel's question, guys who came here as really low-profile guys playing a big role. How important is that in team building, besides just the big contracts that any team can go out and get?
It's for us here, speaking to this organization, we believe that it's imperative to have that kind of grinder, blue-collar player. You look at the baseball season, it's a long season, and you're talking about spring training. It's a game of failure, playing in a climate where it's fantastic all season long. You need to have those guys that really live and die baseball. And when it gets hot in July on the road and you're going 17 of 18, you need those guys that are just tough, and the grinders and the blue-collar guys. So that's what we talk about, kind of getting the right guys with this organization. And you talk about those two guys at the top of the order. They just fit that perfectly.
We'll stay on the left, Dave, in the third row.
Dave, just the Turner homer, did you think it was gone off the bat, and did you see a little more carry with the ball just with the conditions tonight?
I did. I thought it was gone off the bat. It was hot, and the ball seemed like it was carrying. I saw the first, the Bregman ball early that I thought it got in on him, and it carried. And so when JT got that ball elevated, I thought he got enough of it, and that was good at bat. Grinded, was 2 strikes behind the count, and Keiko tried to come in with a cutter and left it out over a little bit, but really took a great swing. And gosh, JT's had so many big hits for us this year.
On the right, Dave. Pedro.
Dave, before the game, you had mentioned that Corey Seager was going to bat 6 today and was going to move into the number 2 hole tomorrow. Now, he obviously went 2 for 3, but Justin Turner has done so much in the 2 hole. Is that still the plan, and why?
It's still the plan. I think that we really try to focus on each game, each starting pitcher who we're opposing that particular day individually. And I think that the at-bats Corey took tonight, getting him in the flow of the World Series playoff baseball again. He really didn't miss a beat in the batter's box. So, yeah, he'll be hitting two tomorrow. Turner will be in the 3.
On the far left, about 5 rows back.
It's related to that last question, but how do you evaluate Corey tonight? And Culberson pinch hit it, and Corey still was in the game. Why?
Well, Corey's our shortstop, and I thought in the box he looked good. I thought he took some good at bats, even lining into that double play in the first inning. He had the one bobble on the potential double play ball, but I thought that he was moving really well. Davinsky, reverse split guy, right-handers have success against him, so I wanted to run Charlie out there and give him a shot to maybe get something started.
In the center, Dave on the right.
Dave, is it almost a discredit to call what Justin has done in the postseason incredible because of what he does on a daily basis throughout the season?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, there's more eyes, there's more at stake. But I think that when you talk to JT, you talk to guys in the clubhouse, there's a certain way you play baseball. And whether you're in the backfield at Camelback Ranch in Arizona in spring training, or you're playing Game 1 of the World Series, there's a certain intensity, focus that should be there. And JT is that guy that plays a certain brand of baseball every single time he steps foot on the baseball field. So I think that this is all he knows. This is what he does. And obviously it's a bigger stage, so there's more made of it, and rightfully so.
To your right, Dave.
Hi, Dave. Y'all haven't seen... Yeah, I said y'all. You haven't seen...
You're on country on us.
Seriously.
All right.
You haven't... the guys haven't seen a whole lot of Verlander. And, talk about one of the premier pitchers in the game. What do you possibly tell a bunch of guys who've never faced him what to expect?
Well, it's plus stuff. I think that Grandy has had the most at-bats against him. He's not active. We saw him in Detroit this year. This guy he's a 1. He's a number 1. He's a horse. He's got the 3-4 pitch mix. Gets lefties, righties out. There's plus velocity, the slider as he's changed his grip, the change, the curveball. So he's going to compete, and we just got to go out there. And it's a different style of pitcher, obviously, than Keuchel, but we got to go out there and try to win pitches. And he's going to come after us, but I think that our guys will be up for it.
I'm trying to do 4 more on the right here.
Hi, Dave. So you all started your year, obviously, with the Robinson family coming for the unveiling of Jackie Robinson's statue. And tonight, the Robinson family was back again on the 45th anniversary of his passing in 1972. Can you talk a little bit about that full circle moment, especially because you have a friendship with the Robinson family and what all it meant on a win?
It's very, when you see Rachel coming up, and you see Sharon and David, and knowing my relationship with them, and knowing them when I was a player here, very wide-eyed, and still just to see Mrs. Robinson with just such class, and she's just timeless. And to know some of the backstory and to be intimate with them is really an honor, and it's one of the huge perks that I've had in my life as far as being a Dodger and being a part of their family in a sense. For them to come back and make the trek, I think that the fans were very excited about that. I think that she was really excited. So for me, it's very humbling to be able to call them friends.
Do 3 more, far back on the left.
Hello. You pull out Clayton when he only had 83 pitches. Did you were thinking about Game 5?
Was I thinking about Game 5? No. I was thinking... I thought he threw the ball well for 7 innings. I thought that I liked having Brandon Morrow come in, and I knew that Kenley could potentially get 4 or 5 outs. That's kind of all I thought. He was throwing the ball well. Could I have extended him? Absolutely. And as that half inning, that actually was a longer inning anyway, so it made me feel even better about going to the pen there. Hey, JT. We're just talking about you.
We'll take 2 more quick ones for Dave, and then we'll go to Justin.
Hi, Dave. You just won your first World Series game as a manager. What were the things that was going in your mind? Is it something different? Was the feeling different than when you're playing?
You know what? I think that for speaking for me personally, it's just more, and I think to the group as well, to our team, it's just more of, it's the World Series, but I think that we had our goal and our mindset on winning 11 games in October. So right now we've won 8. And that's the only thing that we've been thinking of. So, yeah, it's special. It's hard to kind of compare it to being a player. But I know right now that this is a laser-focused group, and we have a lot of work to do.